hitting the internet. Let me just get this URL. Copy YouTube URL. Wow, that's a really long URL. It's like, let's make it the most ugliest version of the URL that it could be. It's like 97 characters. Nope. How about no YouTube? Studio. Videos. Live. Edit title, view, get shareable link. Close this. And can I change this public? Are you still with me? Oh, what happened to you? Where'd you go? And let's give hold it a minute here. Not really sure what happened to you. Oh, he'll be right back. Alrighty. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Wow, it is hot up in here. It looks like we lost Holden. There he is. Hey.
Hey.
There you are. All right, Holden.
Just ran out for a second. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Do. All right. I think we are videos live and unlisted. We're going to go public and publish. Okay. Where are my scenes? Where are you scenes? There you are. Why aren't you side by side? Where'd you go? Where did you go, Holden? Holden.
I'm right here.
No, I know you're there. I just don't know why you're not in the frame.
I don't know. I'm on the YouTube right now, and it shows me full screen right now.
Yeah, weird.
Hmm.
Side by side. Let's get that out of here. Window. Source camera. Add guests. I don't know what's going on. Recording. See, here's the problem. I did an upgrade to a new version of software maybe a couple hours ago. I'm like, I know this is going to bite me in the butt. Hold on a second here. Camera, overlays, mic. I don't know why I can't include you in the side-by-side. currently in show mode? I have no idea. This. Oh, here we go. Nope. There we go. Boom. Now we got it. Took
Boom.
took a second. Holden, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just watched that Apple event, then got some quizzes done for school, and now I'm here,
Yeah,
here to
right.
talk about it.
I think it's been an exciting event. A little maybe planned a little bit, not maybe not planned differently, but I would say differently than what everyone had the expectation walking into it. Everyone thought it was going to be a like a packed full event. We talked about it earlier
Yep.
or late last week. Um, Only ended up being about 60 minutes. Again, highly produced, pre-recorded. It's a weird, going into the event knowing that there are probably a handful of people in the world that know what the new iPhone looked like that have actually kind of put the video together because it's not. You need to open up
Yeah.
much to many more people because they're doing the producing and editing of that video. But I think maybe just starting off, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, 12 Pro, sorry, and iPhone 12 Mini.
Yes.
Starting off, oh, I love it. I love it. What are your thoughts? I guess let's talk about high level.
So iPhone 12, in our last chat, I was kind of like, what can they really do? What's going to make this phone compelling to get? What are the new features going to be? And although there's still nothing as groundbreaking as like Touch ID or Face ID or FaceTime, stuff like that,
Yeah,
this is a really good upgrade.
yeah,
Like even just looking at the 12 and not even considering the camera advancements in the Pro series, the ceramic display, MagSafe returning, 5G with some caveats. Like this is a good lineup. Oh, and OLED, and the Super Retina XDR display is now on all the new iPhone models. That's amazing.
so Super Retina XDR display on every device in the lineup.
Hmm.
It's like 450 or 460 pixels per inch across the lineup. Just, right around there. And I think what's really amazing is like the level of the contrast that they're getting. It's like 2 million to 1 contrast ratio, so it's very vivid. It should give you a lot of contrast, and it supports like a number of technologies. HDR, I think they said Dolby Vision as well, right? Because you could record Dolby
Hmm.
Vision with the camera. But there's a lot of interesting things in there in terms of things to pull customers forward, right, and get them off of their old devices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I like the tag here that Apple announces iPhone 12 invents 5G and wireless charging. That's kind of how they make it seem. They're like, oh my God, we're the first device to have 5G. But what is interesting is that they're supporting all the bands of 5G. Let me just silence my iPad here. All the bands of 5G, where in every device, where other manufacturers are kind of limiting that to the higher end devices, which I think that going into the event, that's what everyone thought the approach would be because that was reasonable,
Hmm.
but they did it differently. Yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually compelled to get this phone way more
Cool.
than I thought I would be. I'm probably not going to,
Okay.
but damn it, just honest what it is mainly is just so stupid. It's not stupid. This is cool. Is a MagSafe actually looks really fantastic.
Yeah, MagSafe is
I
interesting.
It looks really fantastic. I'm very interested in the wallet accessory that kind of clips onto the bottom or the back of the phone.
Yep.
I think that looks like a because I only carry generally like my card, my ID,
Okay.
health insurance. Like I don't need a big wallet, and I kind of don't like having a big wallet in my back pocket. So this is kind of like I don't know. This looks like a nice little thing that has been added, and then also the MagSafe charges wirelessly twice as fast as other wireless chargers,
Yes. So they're able
which is
to,
also a big deal.
yeah. So they're able to deliver wireless charging or deliver speeds twice as fast or two times as much speed, I guess, with that, which is actually kind of again another. It's not. They're all about differentiating their experience in hardware and software, and they're giving everyone 7.5 watts of charging, which is still fast charging, but then they have this new
Hmm.
layer of ultra fast charging that is, only going to be compatible with when they do the MagSafe. So that is again
Yeah.
interesting. So that's Apple exerting their control in the ecosystem, right? By
Hmm.
kind of flexing their engineering prowess. It's very interesting.
So I guess with the whole MagSafe, my kind of what my thoughts are is the next iPhone redesign where it's a new design. Is that going to be the first portless iPhone?
That's a good question, right?
I mean, it's just speculation. We don't know, but I think it's possible. I mean, when I say next design, that's like 3, 4 years down the line.
At least, yeah, that's at least 3 or 4 years down the road.
Hmm.
But let's go back to the iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini. It's interesting
Yeah.
how Apple is bundling them together uh, in terms of when they're available, right? That's the first thing. But like iPhone
Yeah.
iPhone 12 mini really gives you almost um, all the same bells and whistles as the iPhone 12 Pro, minus the bigger size, right? You get a smaller 5.4-inch display, which is nice, right? That is a nice feature. I think that's going to sell like hotcakes in that special blue, or that I don't know what they call it yet, but that blue color is really beautiful.
That is a reason to get the iPhone alone.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Um, I think it's interesting. The iPhone 12, so it's 699, 799. So they actually ended up bringing the iPhone 11's price to the iPhone 12 mini, right? That's how they have it priced.
Yeah.
And you're getting a smaller display. If you want a bigger phone, you're getting the it's 799 for the iPhone 12. I don't know. I think I like the iPhone 12 mini.
I like it a lot in terms of an engineering feat because it is an iPhone 12 in a smaller package. It's not
Yeah.
missing any features. I'm sure battery life may be less, but again, that's speculation. I don't know. They just kind of on the final slide for iPhone 12 just said great battery life in quotes for both models. So kind of remains to be seen there, especially because 5G is likely going to be a battery drain. But other than that, they're the same exact devices outside of my speculation I just kind of threw out there. So
You know,
that's just really impressive.
they're doing I think a number of interesting things where to conserve battery life, right? They're introducing what they think call a data saver or data mode, or where they're
Yeah, smart data mode or something like that.
smart data
Yeah.
mode, where they're basically allocating the 5G network resources to only apps when they need them, and then when they don't need them, they're not down throttling it, but they're then reprioritizing the network access down the LTE to save battery life. So
Hmm.
they're introducing kind of like application intelligence for depending on what kind of app that you're using, which is really interesting. The way they had it seem in the video is that you could download songs in like quote unquote where it looked like a matter of split seconds. Like you see that they're downloading the songs inside of iTunes, but
Hmm.
it is exciting, and the fact that they're partnering with Verizon and they have this now this nationwide both 5G and they have these hotspots for millimeter wave, which is it's great if you live in one of those cities. Unfortunately, I don't.
No, I don't. And no way my city's going to get it anytime soon. I looked at the heat map for 5G access on Verizon's website, their coverage map, and because they said nationwide to 200 million people,
Yep.
and I checked, I guess I'm confused because the coverage does not seem to be that. Is that a switch they're flipping in the next few weeks,
It's
or do they say it's already happened? I kind of feel like I missed that in the event because that's
mm,
to me the reason I'm not going to get the phone because if I think 5G is the biggest reason to get it. If I can't use 5G myself, my 10R is a great device still.
yep. But I guess wouldn't you want to take advantage of 5G if it was available in the place that you were available?
If it was available, yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't seem to be unless they're going to flip a switch in the next few weeks.
So the way that I took it back, let's see if I can find on their coverage map. The way that I understood it is that they are lighting up 5G in existing markets uh,
Okay.
for using the same low band spectrum. Just reading Vinny's message, using low band spectrum, and then other markets they're expanding 5G millimeter wave to other markets, including Chicago they already had, but they're turning it on in more areas. LA, New
Yeah.
York, Boston. So I mean, I think even if the chance that they have 5G here in Miami, I didn't see it on the map, but it's I would get it just for the fact that if I want to be able to use it, I'd like to take advantage of it.
Yeah, like once it's available in your market, you're just waiting for Verizon or
Yeah,
T-Mobile, the carrier at that point. You're not waiting for your phone.
yeah. Let's see here. Must be a new switch that they'll flip. AZ, is that AZ as Arizona? Yep, must have
Yeah,
Arizona.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great that they flip it on, because if the service is are maybe as robust as they're making it seem, right? Especially the fact that they're bringing like real time gaming to these new 5G devices. That would be interesting as well. I, I
Hmm.
did I did see one thing that was interesting is that they're claiming FaceTime HD on 5G in 5G coverage area or on Wi-Fi. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
They don't talk about FaceTime HD to 8. I'm looking at you in the camera here. They don't talk about FaceTime HD today, do they? I don't think so.
In the event they did, and on Apple's website, they mentioned FaceTime HD. Um, I kind of feel like I've done video chats on FaceTime over 4G before, and they already looked HD to me.
Huh. Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong. It's very possible.
Okay. Hold on one second here. Maybe that's better. Brian was
You
just
definitely
saying
sound louder.
definitely sound louder. Too loud?
Yeah.
Too loud?
No,
No. Okay.
good to me.
Sorry about that. So yeah, you have the iPhone Mini, the iPhone 12, the 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max. It's interesting, how we talk about product tension and how they are creating tension between devices to obviously control stock, right? Control who or when you can upgrade or what devices that you upgrade to. They actually brought in features that were specific to the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max, and even again further segmented into the 12 Pro Max, like some of the camera features that were not available in the iPhone 12 Pro are in the 12 Pro Max, like the larger sensor and some of the number of stops of not dynamic range, but for night mode shooting. That was really interesting. Let's see here where I have
So
it.
one thing I'm confused about is which camera features are coming to the Pro only, and which ones are available on both. Because kind of going through the website, there's actually a lot of the features that are coming to the iPhone 12 as well, such as
Yeah.
like Dolby Vision, for example. That's going to be in the iPhone 12 as well.
So the features that are coming to the 12 Pro and not the 12 are obviously the features that are, there's the additional lens, which makes sense, the lidar sensor.
Yeah.
So the fast autofocusing at night, that's not coming to the iPhone 12 because it doesn't have the
Okay.
sensor. And then there's some camera specific features. If you go to apple.com and go to tech specs, let me put this link here in the chat so people could see it.
Yes, I would like to see that myself.
Yeah, no problem. Please hold. Chat. Oops, there you go. Nope, that's not chat. So here, if you go down to the camera section, it breaks down what features are coming to the which phone from the Pro and Pro Max perspective. So the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max were like the optical zoom. Let's see here, Pro Max. So it talks about the telephoto lens. So the aperture on the Pro is it's a different aperture on the Pro Max versus the Pro. It's got more optical zoom on the Pro Max versus the Pro. So there's a number of different features that they opted to include to differentiate the Pro Max versus the Pro in terms of camera. Now the video recording features seem like they're almost all the same, minus the zoom, the how much zoom is available.
I'm just going to the site right now to kind of take a
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through the site as well. What about the folks who are watching? If you're thinking about upgrading, are you thinking about the iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Mini? What is your rationale? Let me just fix this a second.
I feel like overall the 12 is going to be the most popular of the devices. Or I mean 12 as opposed to 12 mini. I think 12 is going to be the most popular device. I think it's just the perfect size to screen ratio.
Yeah.
But even the mini is compelling. I mean, at 5.4 inches, that's an iPhone 8 Plus in a form factor smaller than an iPhone 8,
Yes.
the non-Plus model.
I think the iPhone Mini is probably, I mean, given the price point, the size, and the body to screen ratio, I think that's going to be like the default iPhone for a lot of people, especially when it's giving you all the same features as the 12. It's $100 less. Seems like that would be the price point. And everyone always talks about where the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max won't sell, or people aren't going to buy it because it's got features that people don't need, and it always outpaces the lower cost devices in the beginning because people who are enthusiasts like yourself, myself, people who are watching the stream buy those devices first, and then as the length of time the device has been out extends, people start getting to the normal, the other people start buying the device. I buy the device for my mom, my dad,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Vinny has a good question here in the chat. Did Apple say they have improved wireless charging? I'm a little confused with wireless charging. So MagSafe is improved. That's kind of Apple's proprietary wireless charging. It still uses the Qi standard, right?
Yep.
But they're with MagSafe specifically, you get the faster charging. If you're using a standard wireless charger that you already have, I'm pretty certain that's going to just be the same speed, unless it is advertised as a MagSafe wireless charger.
Yes, that is correct. So when you add the MagSafe functionality, it's like a layer above or on top of Qi wireless charging, where it gives you that secure connection. You're always making sure that you're hitting that sweet spot of where the phone can charge optimally, and that's how they're giving you that 15 watts of wireless charging.
I think it's kind of like USB-C and then USB-C that has the Thunderbolt, like the faster Thunderbolt 3 connection to it.
Yep.
Same size port, so it looks like it's all the same, but you just need that additional Thunderbolts to make it better, just like you need the additional MagSafe to make it better here. So just look for the box; it'll say MagSafe on it. To the whole go back to the whole iPhone Mini, iPhone 12, which one's going to do better? Yeah, I mean overall the iPhone 12 will do better, but you're right, the Pro models will sell better at first, just because people want the Pro features, and I think that although we probably won't see these numbers because of the odd way they're releasing this with the 6.1-inch iPhone 12 and the 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro going for pre-orders at the same time, we'll actually get a pretty good view at which phone most people care about initially at launch. Because the size of the screen doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the price point and the Pro features that come with the Pro model.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
So Vinny says, I think the next wave of phones will not have charging ports.
That seems pretty reasonable, Vinny.
Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. I'm thinking the next major design change we'll get rid of it, but I don't think like the 12S will.
Yeah, you're right. So it's probably three design iterations, so maybe 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because right, it's about that long for this design.
Yeah.
So I think what's interesting is that now covering the lineup, they have $399 for the iPhone SE. They have $699, or they also have the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 filling in those gaps. But you have the iPhone 12 mini at $699, iPhone 12 at $799, and then jumping up to $999 for the iPhone 12 Pro, and then $1,099 or $1,099 for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's a very kind of complete lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could actually stick any more phones. I mean, you probably could stick phones in there, but what's are there going to be people?
Samsung would find a way to do it.
Yeah, $25 difference. Samsung's going to stick everything they can in there, but I don't know. I think how you came across in the beginning of the live stream. I'm pretty impressed with what they're offering, and I think it's a pretty good, it's a compelling upgrade.
Yeah.
If you're someone who shoots night mode, right, or takes a lot of photos at nighttime, it seems like it's going to be a way better performance. It's like 88 or 89% better low light performance than the previous generation. I know you're not a big photographer, but
no, I'm not. But I get it's a big deal for a lot of people.
If you're a gamer, it seems like minus the refresh rate of the screen, whether that is meaningful or not. If anyone out there in the chat is a gamer, whether the 120 hertz refresh rate on screen is meaningful, but it looks like the gaming experience, the way they, I guess, kind of painted it, seems to be captivating, right? And that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think I'm getting more excited just talking about it now.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for me not to get one of these phones, not going to lie, especially because that blue color. I have a blue 10R right now, but that blue on the 12 is gorgeous. I'm very compelled to get one of these, but I don't need to, and that's what's kind of holding me back.
Yeah. So I think pricing aside, right, where pricing aside, where it seems like that there is some type of incentive for existing owners that they haven't talked about yet, but I'm sure it'll come out in the next day or two because of the release. But they're doing some type of incentive for discounting existing phones, or discounting new phones for when you do a trade-in. So that's, again, not a bad deal. You get people to switch to Verizon, and you get people to take advantage of that 5G network. Now, I have not read anything about AT&T or T-Mobile and how they are working with this 5G, whether or not you could take advantage of their network. I know it's compatible, but I haven't seen anything where they're kind of boosting or boasting about what they can do on their network. Have you?
Hmm. No, I haven't. Actually, it's kind of hitting me now that you're pointing this out. It is kind of strange that they focused on a specific carrier for 5G. Obviously, not meaning 5G won't come to AT&T and T-Mobile with iPhone. It clearly will.
Yeah,
But I've never
clearly.
seen them say like when 4G was introduced in the iPhone 6, they didn't get on stage and say, "And working with T-Mobile here, like we can't wait to offer you these amazing 5 or 4G services." So definitely yeah, that's definitely interesting. But it's gonna be supported. I'd be completely shocked if T-Mobile and AT&T had a significantly inferior experience, or even marginally inferior experience on the iPhone 12 because of the iPhone 12's hardware as opposed to their own network.
So what I think many people don't know, and they talked about it a little bit in the demo, but as I think it was Arun, but there's literally like a checklist that you, as a carrier, you have to go through and make sure that these things work before the device will work on your network. And so,
Hmm.
since they're advertising launch partners such as T-Mobile, Verizon, and everyone else they put on the screen, um, they must have went through that process. But I don't think that T-Mobile or AT&T are as far in the deployment process with a 5G network as Verizon is, which is why Apple chose Verizon, which would make sense.
Yeah. It's also an interesting turn too because when 4G came out, it was a few years before Apple decided to release a 4G iPhone.
Whoops, where'd you go, Holden? Sorry about
I
that.
don't know where I went.
Where
No
did you go?
worries. Where's Waldo? The So it took Apple a few years to get into 4G, and they were I can't remember if they said this openly or not, but they were basically waiting because of battery life concerns
Yeah,
and because they didn't want to ship an iPhone with a feature that a majority of the audience couldn't even utilize because 4G isn't everywhere yet. But they've definitely taken on 5G much earlier in its adoption cycle than 4G was in its adoption cycle.
yeah, and you're right. Um, the so it hasn't come out yet. Are they using Intel modems here or Qualcomm modems? Do we know?
They didn't say,
Yeah, yeah, they
but
usually
I'd
don't.
be very surprised if they didn't use Intel modems considering they just bought Intel. So, well,
Okay,
bought Intel's modem division, not Intel
yeah,
the whole company.
yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, friend of the show, just sent over a link, and I wish you could share links with people in this chat. Anyways, it talks about MagSafe and how it's working, where they're offering 15 watts of charging via MagSafe, 7.5 watts um, when you're using the traditional Qi, and that's in Mac Rumors.
Hmm.
That was from Mac Rumors. So just a follow up, real time follow up for you, Holden. Let's see, what did Vinny say? I'm trading in my iPhone 10s Max for the iPhone 12 Pro. It has a really big discount. Vinny, how big is the discount? If you can hear us out there, Vinny.
We're waiting for that. The MagSafe charger,
Yeah.
just the cable
Yep.
itself and the wireless charging portion of it
$40, right?
is $40. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Actually, gonna see what some of these accessories cost, like the cases and all that.
the the cases are interesting. You know, there's well, as you're pulling that up, so you have the line of accessory cases, and what they're doing is they're using kind of not technology, but they're using how would I say this? So they're using kind of tags that are on accessories, and when the accessory is connected to the phone, it kind of broadcasts what kind of accessory it is. That's why when you take the leather cover that covers everything on the phone except for the display, the time turns on. So they're like a little bit about like advertising beacons. So it's interesting. The accessories don't seem to be more expensive. I like the
No,
little
they don't.
wallet, like you mentioned in the beginning. Unfortunately, it only
Hmm.
comes in that brown color. What are they calling the brown color?
Saddle brown.
Saddle brown.
A
And it's
saddle brown, Baltic blue, California poppy,
yeah.
and black.
Now, while I was watching the stream, the blue that is on the Pro Max is not the same blue that's on the 12, correct?
Correct. I think it's a difference in how they, um,
Shade
the
it.
process for the glass. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
glass is, what do they call it? It's frosted glass on the back of the iPhone 12 Pro,
Yep.
but it's just regular glossy glass on the back of the iPhone 12 regular.
Yeah.
So it results in a slight change in the color. I really prefer the way the 12 looks. I don't like the frosted glass look on the Pro. It's a great design choice in theory, but for me, it doesn't work that well.
I'm trying to think here. Is the 11 frosted? Yeah, it's frosted glass. What I like about the frosted glass is that you don't get the fingerprints like you do on the aluminum 10R,
Hmm.
right? I think that's nice, but regardless. Uh, let's go to pricing here. So we're doing this just
And
a
so
little
all the
bit.
cases are like 50 bucks.
50. That's a normal
Yeah,
price for the like
that's the
the
normal price. Yeah,
yeah.
and so these are the silicone ones though. I don't, and that's the same thing with the clear case with MagSafe on it. I don't see, however, the one with the cover on it.
So you're right. I don't see that either, but they obviously showed it in the video. Um,
Yeah,
let's see here. Maybe that's something that's going to come out later.
I guess so. Yeah.
And they also didn't show a battery case, but not that they always do. MagSafe, yeah, I don't see those that it would be a leather case. Would I don't see any leather cases. Yeah, so I don't see
Maybe
any
they're
leather
gonna
cases.
hold it off, maybe, but it seems weird to do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
One thing too on the cases, I really don't understand why the clear case needs to have this circle around it and then the line underneath it, but the other cases don't need that. And it also looks, the Apple logo looks a little like off center or something,
yeah.
doesn't it? Is that, am I crazy, or does it look off center in the clear case because of
Uh,
the circle?
yeah, I guess it kind of does. It kind of
I'm
does.
sure it's not, but it's something about it doesn't look right. It might be that the stem on top is not it's the logo itself's not asymmetrical. It's right, isn't symmetrical. So not asymmetrical. Because the Apple logo is not symmetrical, it maybe makes it look a little lopsided. So the
Yeah,
center of the Apple logo is centered, but the stem makes it appear as if it's not.
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but it looks a little odd to me.
So I think they added that layer of or the like frosting or the color white coloring white paint around the case just to cover up the magnets, right? That would be the most logical reason because otherwise you'd see the magnets on the inside of the case where you don't see them in the silicon
Oh, right,
cases.
right, right. I guess I was thinking the magnet would carry through the case,
Oh, okay, I
but
got
I
you.
think you that's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see any leather cases here on the website,
Hmm.
but I yes. So MagSafe seems exciting where maybe there's other accessories that you could work this way where you could um, um, wow, so that's actually kind of interesting. Like, what if you had a battery charger or like a battery brick that you could put on the back of the case and use it that way?
Hmm.
Or if there was an accessory for, I wonder if it allows for accessory controls, like a shutter button, because the
Yeah.
phone must know that it's connected to the case. It's connected to the MagSafe charger. That is interesting.
Yeah, we could see all sorts of really interesting accessories because of this. My I get for right now, it's we know for sure it's just transferring power, but can this be used to transfer data as well? Because then you could run it all sorts of things like those adapters for Macs that blend in with the Mac and they plug into two USB-C ports and they expand it so it has like HDMI and
Yeah,
SD card, and
yeah,
they
like a
could do
U.
something similar to that where like you snap the on the back of an iPhone a similar kind of adapter that gives it like USB-C and things like that. Like if you could transfer data, you could do all sorts of things with that MagSafe connector and make it really clean and work well with the phone design itself.
Yep. So
That's again hypothetical, but I mean, there's a lot you can do with it.
I don't think it's unrealistic to say at this point that it's the MagSafe connector kind of functions like the way that the magnets on the back of the iPad Pro Smart Keyboard does, right? So
Hmm.
once you connect to it, it allows you to go ahead and transfer power and data in between the device from the accessory to the device. Um, that seems reasonable because based on what we know today.
Yeah,
So that would be cool. It also
yeah,
must
this
have
is
a
good
nice,
stuff.
satisfying click to it, and that's I would like. I can't wait to see that. The
Yeah,
thump. That would be nice. I guess
very
let's.
compelling.
Yeah, it is compelling. Holden, it's calling your name, Holden. You want the iPhone?
Well, there's something else I might want more, but we're not talking about that product yet. So,
We're not talking about that yet. So we have also so we have the iPhone 12, 12 Pro. We got the pricing on it. Again, pricing seems reasonable. Let's see. Did Vinny reply back in the chat? Let's see here. Hold on, Vinny.
John put in some information about the pricing though.
Oh, John, hold on. So, my iPhone 11 Pro Max, Apple would give me 500 trade-in. Sorry, I'm reading this verbatim as. Sorry, guys. Uh, oh, it's Fraser. Hey, Fraser.
Hey, Fraser.
Can't decide. Usually upgrade every year. So, John, it sounds like you own your phone, and you might own it outright, or you don't necessarily you don't finance it. So, okay. So, it's giving you 600 for my iPhone 10s Max. I guess 500. You'll probably get better, but more money on eBay or Swap or something like that, reselling it than you would on trading in Apple, especially if you own it outright. I would. I'm not sure what your desire to do that is, but I think that you always get better reselling it than you do trading into the carriers, unless there's some type of like incentive or giving you additional money. But I don't know if that's the case right now.
Mm-hmm.
SIM free.
And Fraser, I did talk to Chad, the iconic Chad. He loves the announcements too.
Oh, so is that Batters or Betters? Betters just put in the chat the SIM free version. I think SIM free and T-Mobile cost $30 more.
Huh.
Yeah.
I need to investigate that. That's interesting. I wonder why.
So maybe because SIM free it includes more bands.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Just pull up the pricing.
Let's do a 12 in blue, and then we'll see here. Yeah. So only T-Mobile and Sprint though. AT&T and Verizon are $800. T-Mobile and Sprint are $829 for the iPhone 12.
You know what it might be? I wonder if it's because they have to include a CDMA chipset, and that's their licensing cost, right? Or an extension of the licensing cost, maybe. Who knows? But $30. Let's see here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the internals in the Pro Max. So the A14, they really went to town underscoring the level of engineering that they went to put the A14 in this device and made it the level of engineering, but what the A14 is capable of with the 6-core CPU, 4-core GPU, and what I think now in hindsight, it makes sense why they didn't give the A14 much screen time during last month's event, right?
Yeah, they just kind of touched on it, like it's fast, and now we know why.
And now we know why, yeah, right? What I am really interested to see is this, not necessarily the raw speed tests, but the comparison of A14 versus the A12, A11, A10. That's where I think the money is, so to speak, of what's the real usability and how fast do things kind of operate in comparison. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, I like to. We won't really know until we get the side by side comparisons.
Yep.
But I guess every time I now hear A14 or Apple Silicon, I'm always thinking about, well, what does this mean for the Max? So it'd be exciting to see how fast these processors are, and then know that the Mac version is going to be significantly more powerful, most likely.
Well, not to sidetrack, but didn't Apple say that all the demos on screen or on stage demos last month were done using an A12Z processor from the iPad Pro?
Yes, they were.
I mean, yeah.
Do you think they're going to run on an A12Z instead?
I don't, but I think knowing how fast or what appeared to be fast on the A12Z, I think we can expect that the Mac silicon, not silicone, know that the A12 or the A silicon will probably be, I think, screaming fast, right? I mean, not screaming fast, but I think it's going to be comparable to what you see in Intel's processors at the very minimum, but then supersede that on the higher end, processors with more cores.
Well, it used to be you had, like, hypothetically, iPhone, would have the A14, and then the iPad would have the A14X. But that's not the case this time. They both just have the A14. So we're going to see like an A14X version of this chip for the Macs with greater graphics performance and a few other tweaks and stuff. It's interesting to see, because going back to A14 and the internals of that chip, this is already significantly faster than a lot of the computers out there right now,
Yeah.
including certain Macs.
Yeah.
By out there right now, I mean computers that people have, not necessarily the current lineup.
So it was my understanding that the reason why that you saw different processors in the iPad Pro, the Pro line specifically, versus the iPhone, is that that additional GPU processor was needed to push the number of pixels at that size screen and to run some of those other systems such as the 120 hertz ProMotion and things like that. I don't believe that the iPad Air 4 has the A14X.
No, it
Which is,
doesn't.
yeah, because it doesn't have, so it's got, the pixel density is high, right? It's a Retina display, but it doesn't have, I guess, maybe it doesn't need the level of processor and GPU from the iPad Pro that the A12X or A12Z would require. So who knows?
Maybe
Uh,
next month we'll find out
yeah, so they got
what
to
the
be
deal
have
is with all this.
yeah, they got to have a third event. That's the thing, right? They have to have a third event. Let's take down that banner here. So other than the iPad Pro, and like I think the whole the redesign of the camera and the video camera architecture is very interesting, to say the least. There's a lot of things about being able to shoot Dolby Vision video, or HDR video. Now they're bringing not ProRes, but ProRAW imaging to, I guess they're making it available to other people. So that is also very interesting because you now have this flexibility in your, using your iPhone to shoot RAW where you didn't have that before. If anyone out there is a photographer, but if you're not sure, RAW is just it's an image format that has no special processing applied to it whatsoever. And now they're bringing all the or some of the special processing or the special sauce into what they're calling Apple ProRAW.
And the effects are incredible.
Yes.
The video they showed off, even on just the iPhone 12, but especially on the iPhone 12 Pro, the video looked unbelievably good. Apple tends to kind of be hyperbolic when they say things like console quality gaming and stuff like that, like on an iPhone, like, it's not really console quality gaming. But when they said this is a essential tool for a movie set, I think that's kind of how they phrased it. I believe it. Like some of the examples they were showing off of clipping an iPhone to a drone and then flying it off, I'm like, you're going to get really good quality video that way. I mean, they stuck in that video, and Apple doesn't usually bullshit their product videos. They stuck an iPhone 12 Pro underneath a car and then drove it so they could get the shots of those horses.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was on a Steadicam.
It did.
That's unbelievably impressive. And again, it's just really high quality video. This is huge for filmmaking in general, I would say.
Yeah, like
whether you're big time or small time.
You're right. One of the things I remarked to my friend Steve, where during the video or during the keynote, where they're talking about HDR video recording. So here, like I'm using a mirrorless camera from maybe a couple of years ago. So this mirrorless camera, it's not that it's expensive, but it's not cheap. It doesn't have some of the features that the iPhone has now, right? Like it doesn't do HDR video recording. It doesn't do 10-bit video. Like those are all features that are found in very prosumer cameras. So there is really going to, I think, change the way that people use their device or use this device, the iPhone, to capture video and enable just, I think, more creativeness. For sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how that gets utilized.
Yeah.
Because we've heard stories of this, like what was it? There's a Steven Soderbergh film recently that was filmed on iPhone.
Oh,
Unsane.
Okay.
It was shot on an iPhone, and it actually it was a good movie. Actually, I'm now curious what level of movies will be shot with an iPhone.
Unsane. Okay. He also shot a television show on HBO. I can't remember what it was called, but that was shot entirely on iPhone, and that was very well produced as well. And I didn't tell my wife until after we'd finished the series. I'm like, this was shot entirely on an iPhone. She's like, no way. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's find this thing for. Yeah. So that is pretty insane. It's gonna again. It's gonna enable people. Normal people who don't necessarily have the means to be creative, right? Because they never shot with a camera. They're not going to go buy a $2,000 or $3,000 camera to shoot video on a $699 iPhone and capture some really amazing things. So I can't wait to see what people create. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I just put the link to the television or the movie that Holden was talking about. Let's see, Soderbergh TV show. Now this is going to bug me because I just finished watching it. TV show. HBO. I think it was on HBO. Mosaic. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure murder mystery. I'll put that one in there as well.
Unseen was also shot in an iPhone 7 Plus. That's that's actually even crazier.
Yeah.
Like how many iPhones? It's 7, and then it was 10 the next year, 10s, 11. Yeah, it's like 4 years of phones in between. This is going to be a huge step up. If they can already do it on a 7 Plus, I think a 12 shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. So I said this at the beginning of the stream. I said it on Twitter. I'm like, if they did this time lapse on the iPhone, I'm gonna lose my mind. And sure enough, it looked like they said that they're bringing the time lapse video to the iPhone. So that looks really really cool the way that they're doing it, and I can't wait to experiment with that. Anybody out there do shoot time lapses or anything like that? That's one of I think my favorite things to do like astrophotography, or it's really cool. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience.
Maybe not anymore. Well, the patience part, you'll
Yeah.
always need that for time lapse.
Yeah.
Until Apple can time travel iPhones without you realizing it, so it captures all the footage. But probably not going to happen.
Yeah. You're right.
Unlikely. Maybe iPhone 13. Who knows?
Unlikely. So other than that, so there's a few other things that they're bringing to the iPhone Pro and Pro Max. So they moved OIS from the lens into the sensor, which seems, I guess, it's like, oh wow, why didn't they think of that sooner? But that makes sense to compensate for optical image stabilization. They also have, we talked about the Pro RAW format for photos and HDR video recording, along with 10-bit recording as well. Those are all things that are very exciting. Let's see. Is it Mauer says Nikon Z6 to Z7? No, I used Sony A7 III. I'm not sure if you're asking what camera I had. Let me know if I'm misunderstanding your question. And the fact that on the iPhone Pro, or actually all devices, you can do that end-to-end workflow with shoot, edit, and publish all from the device. Now, it doesn't sound like they didn't say anything about bringing quote unquote Final Cut to these devices, so it sounds like you're using either the Photos app to do all this editing or something else. But again, interesting nonetheless. Let's see here, and that
I thought it'd be more of an iPad thing. Whenever Final Cut comes to iOS or iPad OS in that context.
Yeah, well, you still got to edit the HDR video, right? So that's all.
Yeah.
What is interesting is that how they're getting 6 times faster autofocus performance on the Pro and Pro Max because of the LiDAR sensor, right? So they're able to, as soon as you open up the camera, the LiDAR sensor is able to focus on the objects that are in the scene. Obviously, it's shooting out the LiDAR and then getting responses back and then focus on that, which is very interesting. I'm really excited. I think I'm more excited now than I was 2 hours ago by this. This seems really interesting. I would like them to bring this autofocus to the iPad Pro, sorry.
Well, it has the LiDAR, so presumably
Yeah.
it could do it.
Oh, I wonder if it's actually in the new beta. So for those who don't know, Apple released 14.1 officially this afternoon.
I should download that right now.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, 14.1, because I have 14.2 beta 3 waiting for my device to install.
As soon as iOS 14 came out, I just got rid of all the betas.
Yeah, living fast.
Yep.
Living fast.
I don't have 14.1 yet. I don't think it's out for everyone at the moment.
No?
Nope.
Oh, I thought I read that.
I saw the headline too. I think it's out. They might just be staggering it
Oh, okay.
because I don't have it yet. Let me just power cycle my phone. It
Okay.
might be that I'm on a measly 10R now. Maybe it just
It says actually here it was
doesn't
pulled.
want to see it. I'm being facetious.
It says that it was pulled. I just found that
Oh,
on
it was.
Vacomers. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Someone got a little too happy and pushed that out fast. So, other than the 85 things that we just talked about, other the other small thing that was talked about at the event was the HomePod Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at $99, so this is an additional HomePod, not a replacement for the original HomePod, which I have one behind me somewhere. HomePod Mini, $99, and they have a lot of great features coming into the HomePod. Or I guess they're expanding. I almost dropped over my water. They're expanding the feature set of the HomePod Mini. So now they have here. So the intercom functionality, which looks awesome. That's my notes here. I have exclamation point next to that, where it works with your iPhone, your iPad, anybody if you have a family devices on your account, your AirPods CarPlay, so you can make announcements to people that are in your household, and it'll broadcast those announcements through your house, and then you could reply back. Very interesting because they have that on. I think they have that on Google Home. It works really well now, but it's obviously limited to just the devices that are in the house. You get more I guess deeper integration with the personal requests. So you can now have, or like today, my wife asks to play something. For somehow it just never, it always gets then kind of proliferated down into my playlist. So I've got all these songs that I don't want to see in my playlist. I'm like, no, it's not what I want. I guess they're just expanding the experience, and the new handoff experience looks good between the U1 chip and the device. So as long as you have
Yeah.
something from an iPhone 11. But Holden, what
hmm
about this has you excited?
Honestly, just the fact that it's a HomePod that I can get, it's kind of good sounding audio and not
Yeah,
cost me $300. I think that's the most compelling thing about this.
yeah.
At $100, I'm already planning like, okay, so I can get six of them. I can put one in this room, one in that room, and then I could take advantage of the intercom feature, because I have one in every room and like I'm just on board because of how affordable this is. I wanted a HomePod, but I could never justify spending $350 at launch and then $300 after they drop the price a little bit. But now I kind of feel like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We haven't heard how it sounds yet, but I don't think Apple would have put this out if it has bad sound quality.
No, and the sound based on the feature set. Let me find the URL, but the feature set that Apple puts out there seems to be comparable, minus I think two salient features, which versus the HomePod music. So
hmm
if you go to, I'll put this in the chat so everyone can see it. Um, so it's apple.com/HomePod Mini. They have the features. Actually, go to tech specs where it shows the features that. So what's basically not available in the HomePod Mini is the the using your HomePod as a Apple TV 4K, so like a theater speaker. That's not available, and where the HomePod knows where it's spatially aware of what its surroundings. So every time you,
So,
oh, go ahead.
well, wait a second. So before we get too far into that, the Apple TV. So it can AirPlay to Apple TV. Is there a difference in AirPlaying to Apple TV versus
Yeah.
the home theater setup?
So the home theater setup is where you are using your Apple TV as the source, and then you're airplaying the content out, and I think you can do stereo pairs
Okay.
from your Apple TV to your HomePods. Here on the HomePod Mini, it sounds like you can't do that. You can only do music that maybe it's streaming from the internet to the other HomePod and create stereo pairs.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to. It's actually overview mini. Come on. Wow, this is a really long. This is a very long website. Huh. Anyways, they don't show up there. I don't know where I found it. So at $99, I think this will be a very quote unquote easy gift to give people for like a holiday time,
hmm
right? Not that $99 is not a lot of money,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be a good experience. Where are you, HomePod Mini? Uh,
Well, I'll tell you, I'm already. So last week we talked about her whole Apple Watch Band debacle, And I just kind of realized seeing this. I'm like, I'd rather have this than that Apple Watch band that's been a pain in the ass to get. So I'm just going to cancel that Apple Watch band pre-order and get this instead because I think I'm going to get more use out of this.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Yeah, and I'll get it before. Well, I might be able to get it before that Apple Apple Watch band comes in,
Yeah. Gosh, I swear I thought.
depending how fast the pre-orders go for this, which I feel like this is going to be a really hot seller.
Yeah. I think at $99 when you compare it against Google, what do they call it, the Nest Home or the Google Home,
Hmm.
it's like $49. You could often get it for like $30. It's more expensive, but I think that there's more utility in this, especially if you're an iOS user, which makes sense, right? It's highly integrated.
Absolutely, yeah.
TV, HomePod. Oh, here it is. Here's the right link. So the link where the comparison where it shows the HomePod versus the HomePod Mini is in the second link here. And so it says spatial awareness. The HomePod Mini does not have that, and home theater with Apple TV 4K. See, that doesn't even work that well because every time that you change like the interface, so if I go from Apple TV on HDMI 1 to HDMI 2 to watch something else, it disconnects
Hmm.
the speakers and I have to reconnect them. It's actually kind of a pain. Hmm. So, anything else, Holden, that you want to add to this about the HomePod Mini?
I can't wait to buy one.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about it.
take my money.
Exactly.
So the
It's more full featured than I thought. I really don't feel like it has things that are meaningfully different for most people.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Now, the question that just came up in the chat uh, from Technoloty is about the quality of the audio, right? So, will the HomePod Mini, how will compete against that of the Google Nest Home offerings? So, from what I've read, I haven't got my Google Nest yet, the new one, the $99 one. But from basically what I said or what I read, it's supposed to perform very well. It's supposed to sound good. I don't I think in my experience, I like the way that Google's music streaming service functions better than I do like Apple Music. It makes more sense to me. Like I like the UI better. It gets me more than I think Apple Music does. But I'm not willing to make, I guess, the trade off for my information. I don't know. I think it's so. To answer the question, it's got to compete somewhat similarly. And even if it doesn't, the advantage of not trading in your information for that of the Google Nest is probably what's going to compel people to buy this over one or the other because they're the same price.
Hmm. It's primarily the reason I'm on iPhone to begin with, so that I'm in that boat for sure.
Yeah. Um, this is nice. I like it. The
I do
speaker.
too. I'm actually curious who would buy the full-sized HomePod at this point because I feel like one of the benefits of these smart speakers is having them all over the place. So if your goal is putting these things all over the place, why would you get a standard HomePod? Unless the sound quality difference is that significant. And you need the Apple TV features that we were just discussing earlier.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. We just switched sides here. You're right. So at $99, why would you? So there has to be another feature set that they probably plan on offering, which we don't know yet because the software's not out. That
Mm-hmm.
will differentiate the HomePod even more, other than these two things, because that doesn't sound like it doesn't make sense. Once you go Apple, you can't go. This is very very true, very true.
I've switched away from Apple twice now. Once in 2012 to get a Nexus 4, I switched back. Then last year or year before, I got a Pixel 2, and I switched back. I've given Android a chance. I can't do it. Apple is just higher quality, and now that there's iOS widgets and all that stuff, like there's no reason. And then there's the privacy. Obviously, is the foundation of all that.
Yeah, you're totally right. Hold on one second here. I'm getting an important phone call,
Yeah, no worries.
and my phone is like locked up. That's the thing
Time
about
to upgrade iPhone 12.
no. It like I can't. Sorry, on a call. I could not mail any of your stuff because it didn't have the right envelopes. Oh my god. Okay. Um, okay. So I think other than that, Holden, anything else that you want to talk about today with the with
No, that pretty much covers it.
I agree. I think it's very exciting. It's a good time to be a prospective iPhone owner, and there are a lot of I mean, with the iPhones coming out in just a number of weeks, right? Pre-order starts on Thursday on Friday at 5 a.m. So no more getting up in the middle of the night, thankfully. Um,
Just very
and
early in the morning.
yeah, just a very early morning. So 5 a.m. And they'll be in hands next Friday. So let me know in the comments if you're going to be ordering. Hey, Mas Blau. Uh, I think I'm going to order the mini to start. I
Yeah.
definitely want to take a look at that. On the right side. So,
I
let's see.
don't think they announced that. That's not. I don't think that's a thing.
So, on the side of the all the devices, there is a kind of a rectangular cutout. Uh, so they did not mention that it is a fingerprint sensor. I think it's probably some type of RF pass through for the 5G radios that are in the device.
Yeah, they would have made a big deal out of dual biometric security if that was the Touch ID sensor,
Yeah, it
which I
would.
do think is possible to have in the future. Excuse me. Not as an upgrade to the iPhone 12, but like the next iPhone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Holden, thank you very much for joining us today. Holden, where can people find you?
Yeah. So I do a video game podcast called Respawn Aim Fire. I do that with my good friend Chad Michael Innes. He's the energetic, lively, kooky, crazy guy, and I am
Okay.
more down to earth and mellow, I guess. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I don't know. And we do talk about video games. What we've been playing, video game news. That's every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We release a new episode, or 8 p.m. on Sundays on Twitch, and that's
Okay.
on Eastern time for all those times.
Okay. So maybe just as a side question, because we
Yeah.
can talk about it. What about, I guess, what did you think about the 5G offerings with gaming and
Um, in the context of this event, I don't really care. But 5G will be very important for gaming. I think you look at services like Stadia, Luna, XCloud, 5G will be, I think, the technology that pushes those services into mainstream. When you can play Call of Duty or you can play Fortnite and those kind of games on 5G anywhere in the world by streaming it, that's going to be huge. And that's also going to open up a lot of doors in
okay,
other countries where broadband access is not as prominent. Which even in America, it's actually not as prominent as you would think.
no, it's definitely not.
There's a so yeah, there's a that's gonna be very interesting to see, but that's gonna be one of those things where once 5G gets adopted nationally and internationally, that's gonna be a game changer for gaming, I think.
Huh. Yeah, I agree. Um, okay. I think that probably the most important thing here is that it kind of outlines Apple's thought process on why they one on Epic, right? So why they didn't want to, they felt that they don't need
Yeah.
to, uh, why they don't need to bring, make any concessions to Epic, and two, uh, why they were resistant to allowing XCloud, right, on the device, right? Because they kind of have these inroads
Yeah.
with partners already.
Yeah, we've never really talked about that before. That's a very interesting conversation
Yeah.
for sure. Um, we've done some coverage on the whole Epic Apple thing. I think that Chad and I have a different take than most people.
Okay.
Um, in short, my take is basically on that stuff is that Epic is forcing Apple to be the monopoly that they're accusing Apple of being. I know that's an odd take, but you could break it down and it's interesting. But I do think that the whole xCloud not being on iOS thing is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It will happen.
I thought
It
it was
will
coming
happen.
as a progressive web app.
Yeah, so there's basically two things that are going to happen. One is Apple saying we'll let xCloud on our service as long as each individual game is an individual title on the App Store,
Which makes
as
no sense.
opposed to, yeah, it makes no sense. Rather than collecting it um,
A
as a
bucket or
catalog app,
yeah,
like
catalog.
game like Netflix works. Like
Hmm.
individual Netflix shows aren't just available in the iTunes store to search. Like it's very strange. But then I think the more that's Apple's kind of offering, and I think Microsoft has a much better idea with just having the iOS. So I should say Amazon with Luna has the better idea with doing the progressive web app, and it seems like xCloud's going to take on that too.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's a really interesting conversation because it's kind of changing a lot of things about Apple's ecosystem. But yeah,
Yeah.
for those interested in the epic Apple situation, I do highly recommend going to the Respawning Fire podcast and looking at our episodes for it. I did some pretty big breakdowns just on how much money Apple makes from the App Store and how much of their services business is actually from the App Store versus everything else.
Okay.
What it means to be a monopoly and what it means to be a monopoly in this context.
Can you do you have links that you can provide? I'll put them in the notes.
Yeah, I can pull them up.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem.
All right. Well, I definitely Holden, thanks again for joining us, and everyone, thanks very
You are
much for joining
welcome.
us live. We'll talk to you again in the next episode. Thanks very
Yeah.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.